see, this bracket is working awesome. Leaving a little wake behind me. And these brackets I got from yakattack.com, I believe it is. So let's turn on this speed app and see how fast this water snake motor will go. Mounted on the side and being able to adjust the height, very important when you're fishing rocky rivers. So to make the bracket, I'll be using this old ramp that I don't use anymore, and this is 1.5 by 7. So I'm gonna probably make it 3 inches wide. So I need to see how long my bracket needs to be. Minimum of what? This would be the longest. 34 inches. Okay. 34 inches long. And this is only 24, I think. Let's see. Yep, so this is 24, but I'm making it 34, so it's long enough for the motor to mount to. And I'm going to use the track system to mount it with these little inserts and 2 screws, and that's what's going to hold my new transom mount bracket. And I'm just going to remove this one and put this rod holder back here where it belongs. So first let's make this bracket, and I said 35 or 34, but I think I'll just make it 35 to be safe. So I can cut that straight across. This side of it anyway. Alright, so I've decided to make it 3 inches wide. So to make my line even, I'll just do some marks, and you could use anything. I'll just use this stick to connect them and make a solid line. And I could just keep it right on this here, step on it. That way when I cut it, it won't bottom out either. There we go. Nice and light. This thing probably weighs, I don't know, a pound, maybe 2 pounds. And now, to mount my bracket, I think I'll need, I gotta measure how much I'll need. And I'll screw it together, and the actual mount will mount to this. So we'll just put a mark somewhere along here is where we have to cut it. You want to leave some space on both ends just to have a little extra. Our last cut will be right here. So let's get this nice and stable. Put your pressure down on it good, and there it goes. Alright, I finally found my screws and my nails that I will use to connect these two here. First I'm just going to screw it together, and that will give me a nice hold to where I could nail it in and not worry about it. Well, let's get this out of the way. It's about halfway. Make sure we're flush here before I drive this in. And I'm pretty sure that will hold it well. I'm trying to watch out so it doesn't crack on me. I just had one long screw. I didn't feel like going to the store, so I'm going to try it this way. If this fails, I'm going to have to go to the store and get a couple more screws. Nice and tight. So there's my bracket. Now I just have to drill my 2 holes for my track mount, spray paint it, and mount it. Here's all my stuff to mount it. And these brackets I got from yakattack.com, I believe it is. I think it was like 6 for $20. So I used one up for my cup, another one for my paddle holder, and now I'm using 2 more for this mount, and I still have 2 more left. I marked my tracks out. As you guys can see, they go on an angle, so I have this pushed up all the way, and I have them marked in the center here. So I'll drill these holes in the center right here now, and once that's done, we can spray paint this and mount it, and now my bracket is done. So now I have my centers marked, so I'm going with a drill bit that's a little bit thinner probably than this bolt, so I might have to drill a bigger hole, but if I do, it's not a big deal. There's one. Let's get this one done. And it will move a little on the track until we tighten it down. So these don't have to be exactly perfect. So yeah, that one was too small, and it's better to go small first and then increase your size rather than drilling it way too big. And this should be perfect. Make sure you don't hit your drill bits against concrete. You'll dull them out or break them maybe, who knows. Alright, let's spray paint this thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. And not to stand in the wind either. So I just had my bracket laying here, drying. It's almost dry. And I did install these into the track. I just had to go get some bigger washers. Like this is pretty good. I think these will even be better. Yeah. We're gonna give a little bit of a gap for the wood to sit on. And then we have some more washers for the top here. A couple nuts. So let's get this bracket on. So I did pre-drill the holes. So now when I put these on, hopefully they're long enough. Oh, I guide them in there. Oh, that's gonna be perfect, it looks like so far. I don't want it to, oh, we gotta put it down evenly. There it goes. There it is. Move this out of the way. And we can put this over. That's what's cool about that, just comes off. Alright, so once we got it through underneath here, you can see, I don't know if I could show you this, but those tracks, you could see them, and you have to make sure they're perfectly in the track when you tighten it down, because if not, it's going to pop out on you or something, and you can get in trouble. So we'll just do 2 washers on top and a 10mm nut to tighten it down. We'll do a bigger one, smaller one, and our 10mm nut here. And if it continues spinning, just take something under there to prevent it from spinning, like a screwdriver, a flathead. And once you snug it up, make sure it's in the track. If it's in the track, we're good. And this one is perfect. So now we have to do this one. It's my homemade bracket, man.
That's good.
And this, I'll just go over with like this. I think, if it's gonna work. Oh yeah, perfect. See?
Yeah.
Boom.
Nice.
There's my bracket. Now let's mount the motor to it. So this is still moving a little bit on me. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm going to reinforce it with 2 more long screws that I found. So I'm just gonna go down from this one into the next one. And that's going to really reinforce it there, especially after we put this one on this side. There it is. Okay, so our bracket is on and ready to go. See, it's nice and sturdy. I can pick up the kayak by it. So I'm pretty sure it's going to hold up for this little trolling motor. And this is solid. I reinforced it with a couple more screws. So there's 3 screws, 2 nails. So let's put this bracket on now, this trolling motor. You can see how it fits. Really easy to put on. And there we go. So you could see I could still lift the whole kayak even with this motor attached. That's how strong these track mounts are if you mount them properly. You just have to make sure that bracket is in there right, and you shouldn't have a problem with this ever coming off. Let's get the kayak in the water. It is nice and clean because I just washed it. And I gave it the 303 treatment. And you can see the motor is out of the water. Alright, we're in. We can drop the motor now. It's kind of nice having it a little further away from me, I just noticed. But now let's go full speed. Oh yeah, it's moving way better since it's back there. You guys can see this bracket is working awesome. Leaving a little wake behind me. So one thing I do love about this side mount is I can adjust the height of my motor up and down, even with it running like it is now. And I can put it even all the way in the water, but right now I'm in the shallow part of the river, so I'm not really keeping it too low in the water, just in case there's a boulder or a log down or something. Another great thing about having the side mount is I can go up and down river. I don't have to use this for steering. I don't have to have any cables ran through my kayak. I don't need a rudder because this controls everything when I'm fishing. I can adjust my kayak. Turns very sharp. Let me show you guys. This is high speed. Now let's see, let's go left. It turns very fast. And it turns on a dime. And I could straighten out and turn the other way quite fast. Look at that. And this is an 11.5 foot kayak. Weighs about 100 pounds loaded right now with the battery, the motor, some gear I have. So yeah, it whips around fast. This motor weighs 9 pounds with this bracket, and I just made this, as you guys saw, this bracket for it, because this one, let me put it down to speed. This one was a little bit too forward, and it was too weak to hold this new bracket. So yeah, let me get back to high. Actually, I can show you guys with it all the way down. Barely makes any noise. See, it makes barely any noise, but you can see how shallow it is. I don't want to hit a boulder or something, so I'm going to pick it back up just a little bit, about 4 inches or so, and continue on. And what's cool is I could just put it on high speed with this bracket. The other one would turn on me. This one just stays nice and tight. So take off right away at high speed, and I'm gonna get the PMW controller here. So I'll go through some weeds for you guys to show you how the weeds get tangled in your little prop. And I know some props are weedless. I still think you will get some weeds if you go through the weeds. Look at that. Look how much it's slowed down. That's it. It pretty much stopped. So what I do, I turn it off, lift it out of the water. I could reach it with no problem. And I went through a bunch of weeds on purpose just to show you guys. I could even lift it more, spin them off like that. Get them all out of there. Now to do that with a rear mounted motor, you're going to have to actually get off the kayak. So, and I'm already done. Let me reverse out of here, and this motor does have a fast reverse. I could spin myself around, and then I could just put it forward, hopefully not hit any more weeds. And we're off to the next spot. And this part of the river has no weeds in the middle at all. It's very shallow. So this is what helps me go through this river and the shallow areas without having to lift my motor all the way out of the water. I just keep it about 3 inches in the water, and I am cruising along, not really worried about bottoming out. And I always keep an eye out in front. If something happens, I just turn my motor, put it in reverse, and it stops pretty fast, as you guys saw. Another thing I did do is I mounted it a little further back, now that I had the capability of doing that. Before it was mounted over here, so it didn't turn as good, it didn't track as good. Everything just feels better about it. It seems like it goes a little faster too. So let's turn on this speed app and see how fast this water snake motor will go. So now I'm going downriver, and you can see it's going about 5 miles an hour, about 4.5 to 5 miles an hour. So it's working pretty great. Let's turn around and go back upriver. So against the current, we are going about 3 miles an hour here. 2.5 to 3 miles an hour up against the current, and I got into the shaded area here so you guys can see that better. So it's not bad at all. And downriver, we're going 4.5 to 5 miles an hour. So I'd say on a steady, calm lake, you would probably do around 4 miles an hour with this motor. And I do run a Lithium Pros battery. It's a TM2450. Very good battery. Lasts me all day. And by all day, I mean 8 to 10 hours of running it. So that's pretty good for me. So I'm getting out over here at the shoreline. So what I like to do when I get out is get some speed on high speed, aim for the shoreline I'm going to. Then I just put it on slow speed. I turn off the motor. I lift it up out of the water, just like that. And I could just leave it, grab my paddle, and we are out. And to remove this thing is this easy. Just unclamp this, guys. And that's it. My motor is out. So when I get out, take my kayak out, I usually just grab the battery and the motor first, the two heaviest things, take them out, then I pull my kayak up and I'm done. And this bracket will just sit on here permanently. And it looks good, matches the kayak well. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope it helps you make your own bracket. Thank you for subscribing. Until the next one. Peace.